What's good guys, Alex here, and today I'm coming at you with my Cyber Dragon control build. And I know it's weird, like there's no Galaxy Soldier, there's no Cyber Dragon, there's no Infinity, etc, etc. And I'll explain everything, I'll explain my choices, why I removed those cards and why I added stuff like 3 Veer for example, etc, etc. Now, just to get you don't know how to play this deck, you don't know what this X card do in this X situation. Believe me, I played this deck like way before even the new support. I played this deck for years. I know what Galaxy Soldiers do. I know how good Infinity is, etc, etc. But this build doesn't focus on these cards and I find them bricky. And as I said, I'll explain everything now in a bit. So why no Galaxy Soldier? Well, to me, like in this build, it's bricky, it's like so vulnerable to hand traps that is not worth it. Like I don't think, like Infinity is a really good card, but I don't think just summoning Infinity worth all that brick and all that, just losing advantage to hand trap that much. Like in this deck, for example, your cores normally search for overflow. So if they hand trap it, okay, that's fine. But in other builds, usually you always search for Galaxy Soldier or hers to complete your hand and summon Infinity stuff. So if they hit it with an Infinite Imperm and you have like Galaxy Soldier in hand but no hers, then you have a dead Galaxy Soldier in hand. However, I would rather draw something like Cyber Dragon Fear, for example, because actually Core and Fear and like 3 traps is one of the most nuttiest hand in this build, because you can search for overflow, summon Fear, summon Rampage, get Core back to hand, like set 4 and pass. Like Fear in this deck is actually really good, just because it provides you that 2 monsters on board that you can, like you have multiple options. You can go for Ivy Masquerena if you have stuff like Crackdown, you can go for Ziegler if you want, but like Fear Core is immediately like a link 2 with 2 pops with overflow, so that's it. So yeah, I'd rather draw something like Fear, I would rather draw traps, I would rather draw Inspector Border, all of that. I'd rather to draw instead of Galaxy Soldier, because okay, Galaxy Soldier is good when it resolves, but it bricks a lot. It's vulnerable to hand traps. Like not only Core, but Galaxy Soldier itself, it can be hand trapped and it stops the search, and now you are stuck with a like worthless monster on the board. And like yeah, that's, and drawing it in mid game is like the worst thing ever. Like drawing a trap like, I don't know, like overflow or like crackdown or something, have the potential to like actually kinda stall or change the game, but drawing Galaxy Soldier mid game is like you lose. So, and why no Cyber Dragon? Well, there's no Galaxy Soldier. Why would I play Cyber Dragon to begin with? I'm not even playing Nista, and there's no point of it. Going first, it's a brick. Going second, I would rather see Nibiru or evenly matched or anything but Cyber Dragon. Like, oh, it's special summon itself, big deal. And yeah, no Infinity, no Nova for the same reason. The only way you can make them in this build is by having 2 Rampages on board. But if you have 2 Rampages on board, you already winning. So that's it for the cards that are not in the deck. Let's talk about the deck itself. So starting off with the monsters, 3 Inspector Border. Well, it's a really good card, 2000 attack, so it's hard to beat over it without activating any effects. Walk-in Floodgate, it can win you games on its own sometimes. And for some people who are still confused about how this card works, basically each player get effects based on the number of card types currently on the field, like Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Pendulum, and Link. To simplify that, let's say you have none of those. You are not able to activate, you are not allowed even to activate any of your monster effects in the hand, in the field, and anywhere. Now let's say you have 1 Link monster, so you have now 1 type of monsters from the written on the card. You can activate 1 effect. Let's say you have 2 Link monsters. Does that give you 2 effects? No, you still have 1 effect because it's per monster type, not per monsters on the field. Like you need to have links and exceed, for example, to have two effects. Even if you had like a million link monster, you still have link monsters, which is one type, so you get one effect only. So I had to clear that up, just for the people who still, kind of confused about it. And sometimes you have to do some decision with it, like if you open with core and it, would you rather summon it or summon core? I summon it more of the time, just, leave core in my hand for next turns. And let's say you open it and like 3 traps and Pot of Extravagance. Me personally, I summon it, I set 3 traps and leave Pot of Extravagance till next turn. Because if Inspector Porter survive, which is probably will, you can activate Pot of Extravagance without caring about Ash Blossom. So that's the thing you can do. Moving to the next monster, 3 Cyber Dragon Fear. It's a really good card. It gives you an extra monster on board to go into any of your Link 2s. It helps you get Rampage. Rampage helps you get Core, and Core means a better grind game because it can, just gives you that searchable disruption or that searchable fusion that can shuffle your monsters back in the deck, which is really cool. And that's why you play 3 of them, 3 core. It's like, it's just search you a disruption. What more can you ask for? Overflow, a really powerful trap. 2 hers, well, self-explanatory. 1 is a bit, too little. 3 is too much without Galaxy Soldier. And the whole purpose of it is just to send it from the deck to the graveyard by the effective Rampage, so I can get my core or my fear back, depending on the game state. Now for the spells. 3 Pot of Extravagance, amazing card. It lets you draw 2 for basically free in this deck. You don't, care about having a stacked extra deck. You just need 1 Rampage, like 1 Zigger, and you can win. And actually, it happened to me once that I banished 3 Rampages. I still won. I summoned Avramax and Zigger and just keep beating my opponent down and protecting myself with traps. So you have that. And 3 Cyber Emergency. It searches you fear or core, depending on your hand. I was thinking about cutting to 2, but I feel 3 is still the correct way. Obviously, take this deck, test it, and if you have any ideas, tell me. Like, I don't mind. I appreciate criticism as long as there's no, like, how can I say it, like, unnecessary negativity in the comments. So 1 Overload Fusion and 1 Cyberload Fusion. New fusion cards, searchable, quote unquote, by Anaconda, and actually Cyberload is searchable by Core, so it gives you a better grind game. It's quick play, so if you needed to push with like some damage in the battle phase for another 2k, you can activate it, special summon Rampage. And of course it synergizes too damn good with Overflow, so you have that. Now for the trap lineup. We're playing 21 traps, so half of our decks is traps. We play Trap Trick, 2 Trap Trick. It searches any of your normal traps, which is really good. One of them is Infinite Imperm, a really good card. It can stop your opponent, starters. It works from the hand, so you can't go wrong with that. And if you notice, it's the only neg 1 card, like card advantage wise, between all the traps. Like other traps are either 1 for 1 or a +1. So, but it's like too good to not to play a card like this. 2 Cybernetic Overflow, again searchable with Trap Trick and your core, so playing 3 is a bit overkill. 1 is not enough, 2 is the perfect number. Draconian Prison of Snow and Sky. Now this card will come to the TCG in like a month or so, that's why I'm testing it right now. Obviously if you want to go into a local, like just right now, like this this month, you can remove it. You can play a 3rd Compulse and like whatever, but I'm testing it right now and I'm loving it. So let's unwrap this card a bit. Target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field but negate its effect if any. Then you can banish 2 monsters with the same type as each other, 1 from each field. It's a hard once per turn. So first, the banishing and summoning happen like simultaneously. It doesn't like start a new chain or anything, so your opponent would, like, if he wants to respond to this card, he would be responding to the target a monster in your opponent's graveyard. So if you summon it, you can immediately banish 2 monsters, and that does not target, which is great. but the banishing is not mandatory. You can just special summon a monster from your opponent graveyard just to disrupt them, which is good. Or sometimes you summon it, you use it with IP Masquerena, and that's it. Like you summon Unicorn, spin a card, or summon Evermax if you steal a Link monster. Sometimes you steal a big beat stick and just attack over your opponent monsters. Sometimes you summon a monster to extend and go into like Anaconda. But let's talk about the banishing effects. It's really good. Like a lot of people think it won't come in handy because all decks play like all kind of monsters. But like let's say you're playing against Eldritch, you can steal Golden Lord, which is already a good thing to do. Like preventing them from accessing Golden Lord is amazing. But you can steal Golden Lord and banish it and another Golden Lord your opponent controls, or like a trap monster so they won't get the effect. Or you can just steal it and beat over your opponent's monster with it, or crash it or something, I don't know. Let's say you're playing against an Emancipator, you can steal one of their rock monsters, banish it, and banish a Black Dragon for example, or banish one of the Synchros. So yeah, I like this card. I am still testing it, but I don't think I'll remove it. I'll keep it at 2 because it's a hard once per turn. I don't want to draw multiple of it. Also, it's searchable with Trap Trick, so it's like you are playing 4 copies, so you can access it whenever you want. And to wrap up our normal traps, I'm playing 2 Compulse. Really good card. Get rid of a lot of problematic monsters, or like spin like a Helke Fibrax or something, or Aurora Dawn, like Linker, like anything. I don't know. You can just spin that monster back into the extra deck or return it to the hand. 3 Crackdown, really good card. It prevents your opponent from having that resource on the field or in the graveyard. You can take it, you can link it off, you can do whatever. You can just keep it if it's like a big wall. You can do like a lot of neat tricks with this card. The counter traps is like it's pretty self-explanatory. Solemn Strike, Solemn Judgment, and 1 Dark Bribe just for back row hate. Basically playing 4 cards for back row hates. But again, the trap lineup is always subject to change depending on your locals, depending on the meta. Like there's nothing here that will stick. Maybe like only stuff like Solemn Strike and Overflow. I don't see them going anywhere in the near future. But like beside that, we don't know. Crackdown, Compulse, it depends. The extra deck, 3 Mega Fleet, 3 Rampage. Obviously Rampage is your win condition, Mega Fleet is nice for removal, and you have 3 Zeger, also one of your win conditions. Sometimes you just summon it, keep beating your opponent down while protecting yourself with traps until you find an answer. 3 Anaconda searches your Overload Fusion, Ivy Masquerena, and the package, Nightmare Unicorn, Evermax. They can come in handy, I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of times I open with like a Crackdown, a Core, and a Fear. So I go like use Core Fear to go into Ivy Masquerena, set the Crackdown, like steal my opponent's Link Monster, then summon Evermax. And Evermax is well protected, like it cannot be targeted by card effects, and it has an Honest built in it, and Ivy Masquerena makes it indestructible by card effects, so cannot be targeted, cannot be destroyed. Pretty good. You can win game on its own. The side deck like needs some changing here and there. Also, as I said, depending on the meta, on your locals, etc. But like stuff like Nibiru, like really good against combo decks, going second. Evenly matched against back row. Get out again, like it can be used going second or first. It's an option if you want. Even you can main deck it if you want instead of Draconian Prison. So you have that. Heavy Storm Duster, Imperial Order, like all these cards may be replaced. I don't know, I'm still working on the side deck, but overall I'm pretty confident with this deck. Like I'm enjoying it, it's powerful, it has a lot of neat tricks, and it can catch people off guard, believe me. So that's it for it. Any questions, any like ideas you have in mind that I did not think of, please let them in the comment section below and tell me what you think about this deck. And test it, even if you think it's weird, test it and then give it a your full judgment. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps the channel a lot. Peace.